You are listening to the Beaverton, North America's trusted source of news.
This week on the Beaverton, Stats Canada says they will try to cut 850 jobs over the next 2 years, but it may be tricky because the guy they fired first was the one who kept track of how many civil servants were hired and fired. NDP leadership candidate Rob Ashton admitted to using AI to answer questions during a Reddit AMA. Readers were tipped off when Ashton's diatribe against the billionaire class included an ad for Amazon Prime. And the Olympic ice hockey arena is still under construction, but the games are right around the corner. Officials promise they will complete the work as soon as they finish heated rivalry. That's right, it's time to make fun of the news once again on the Beaverton Weekly Report. Welcome to the show, everyone. So glad you are tuning in. I'm your host, Luke Gornfield. Quickly, before I introduce the panel, a reminder that we are doing a live show in Edmonton at the Winterruption Festival on Saturday, January 24th. It will be our first ever live podcast since we brought the show back. And before that, we're going to do a special Beaverton News Bulletin featuring all new original material never seen anywhere else. Joining me for the podcast will be Ian and Clare, plus hilarious stand-up Henry Sir. Tickets are going quick, so get yours before they go at winterruptionyeg.com. And now, joining me this week are three of our regular panelists, all of whom actually liked the Stranger Things finale: Nile, Seguin, Clare Blackwood, and Ian MacIntyre.
You take that back. I didn't watch season 5. Was it season 5? I don't even know which season we're at.
I love having characters re-explain to me what they're doing while they're doing it so that I can look at my phone while I watch a show.
Yeah. I also like when they're very clearly didn't know how to end it, so they were like, it's an ambiguous ending, so we get to have our cake and eat it too. And it's like, just pick a goddamn ending, guys.
So glad I saved those hours.
It's the hilarious thing about it is, like, we talk about it as this cultural phenomenon, and it is, but they did so few episodes for the amount of discussion that's been had about Stranger Things. It's like they did a network TV drama amount of episodes over 10 years, and we've been talking about it this whole time.
I feel like half the discourse, though, is about the fact that it took 10 years to do, and how the kids don't look like kids anymore.
Yeah, they're all 40. They're all they're older than me.
Like, half of them have Botox at this point.
Oh, yeah, that's a real, not to call anyone out and, hey, do what you want, but yeah.
No, do what you want.
Watching someone
David Harbour's work was really good.
The fullness of his hair jump between season 1 and 2 is somewhat noticeable. So, you know what? Yes, it was pretty good.
I've always been happy that I watched the first season of that show and stopped. I was like, I watched the first season, I was like, that was an excellent season of television.
Yeah.
I'm really happy I watched that. And then I just didn't have any impetus to watch the rest of them, and I feel like I made the right choice from the sound of it.
It's weird because the next 3 seasons were all about you. They referenced you a lot.
That's why we enjoy it so much.
It is so weird.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
That's the Stranger Thing.
Yeah.
How much they talk about Clare?
Yeah.
Photoshopped your face onto Vecna.
I'm surprised your agent didn't tell you about this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I feel like
Yeah, you're owed a lot at royalties.
I'm going to text her.
Some money on the table.
Well, we are clearly stalling because we don't want to talk about the news this week, but thank you for everyone tuning in so we can try and bring a little levity to some truly horrific stuff. We begin, of course, with the horrific shooting of Renee Good by an ICE agent and the political firestorm that has come about in response. I'm sure everyone's seen the videos. Quickly, brief summary. Good was parked in the middle of the road in an effort to non-violently disrupt and protest ICE's raids. She was calm, telling the agent who eventually shot her she isn't mad at him. Then ICE agents started yelling. One told her to get out of there. Another shouted to open the door and get out because she was under arrest. Presumably, following contradictory orders is tricky when people are screaming at you.
With guns.
Yeah, with guns. Instead, so what she did was she followed the direction to leave. She backed up a little bit and then drove forward, admittedly in the direction of the ICE agent, but was clearly turning her wheels away from him. And rather than just take one step back, he immediately opened fire and shot 3 times, killing her instantly. I think everyone has known for quite a while, especially in the Trump era, that we all live in our kind of own bubbles and we all have our different version of events and things. This is, I think, maybe the most stark confrontation of the fact that not only do we have different opinions on things, we live in a world with different facts, because there are millions of people out there who watched that video and have come to the conclusion that she was a deranged lunatic trying to run over an ICE agent.
It's like The Dress on the internet in 2015, except a nightmare.
Yeah. Slightly worse Yanny or Laurel, yeah.
Exactly, right? Yeah, it's that kind of thing. They looked at that and they were like, oh, we could probably use that Yanny Laurel thing to destroy civilization.
Yeah.
And that's what they did.
Yeah. Hey, kudos to them.
Yeah.
Not really, but yes. It's truly one of those things where it's like, even, again, not trying to talk about the glory days of Trump's first term, but even in Trump's first term, when like George Floyd happened, for example, I don't remember the right celebrating it as much. Yes, they defended the officers, but it wasn't like, this was great. No, I'm going to stand by this. They weren't like out in the streets immediately being like, this is awesome. They came, now later on, were there a lot of jokes about George Floyd and things they did? You can make as many faces as you want to me, but I'm going to stand by this point, Ian. I do not remember Trump world immediately coming out and being like, this was a good thing. He was trying to kill that officer, and anyone who says otherwise is lying.
I mean, I definitely saw a lot of commentary at the time of like, this guy's a low-life drug dealer and deserved what he got.
He deserved it.
There was a lot of justifying it. There was a lot of like, but he was this and he was that. So there was that version of it.
For sure,
It wasn't, it was a different story, but it was still a bullshit story.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, again, like memories, we don't need to get into debating that specifically, but I guess what I'm trying to say is the fact that it would have been so easy for them to come out and say, this is terrible that someone died. We will do an investigation. We stand with ICE officers. They're doing important work. People shouldn't protest. As opposed to pretending we hadn't all watched this video in HD from 8 different angles and just saying, she was trying to run him over. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong and lying.
This is a question probably mostly for the old heads like myself. When and how did social media trick us into being okay with snuff videos? Because I haven't seen this, and I haven't seen the Charlie Kirk thing, but there was a time where there was a section of the internet for videos where people die, and now
that was when I was like growing up, like when I was a teenager. I think there were just
me
like
too.
Watch people be beheaded.
I was a teenager in the 2010s.
That much older than me.
And now it's just this weird vibe. I don't know. It's a bit of
No, you're right. You have to send away for like a video called like Faces of Death and pay $24.99 plus shipping and handling. I don't know specifically.
That's a lot of detail.
There was a lot of beheadings that were on the internet, especially. That was like a whole genre.
It's just weird, and now it's just like it's there, and then it's this weird like. This is my version of the what reality am I in that it's not just accepted. There are people who be like, have you seen the video? And I'm like, no, I haven't seen the video. What the fuck?
Person being graphically murdered? What's wrong with you? Why don't you want to see it?
Watch it if you want to, but if you like, maybe protect your peace, guys. Like this is gonna be choppy for the next few years. If you don't have to watch it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Let us watch it. Let Luke watch it.
Like maybe, if you want
I think it's very strong.
There's a way to be informed about what happened without having to put yourself through that.
Totally. Yeah, I'm not encouraging anyone to watch it. I think a lot of people have, whether they wanted to or not. Because what happens is, for me at least, you're scrolling social media and it's just playing. Yeah. And then there's a talking head in the corner of the screen being like, watch this and do this and watch that.
I mean,
and you move quick.
That.
You get I get sucked in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fucked.
Well, you're a completionist. You got to finish everything
That's
you start. Yeah.
Kind of a perfectionist, guys, with my snuff films online.
Jesus.
He did send away. He has the full collection.
I mean, I've seen a lot of references to, I think it's like 1984, especially with this just being like, I think we are really, really seeing the administration just kind of be like, here's the video. You didn't see what you saw. This is what you saw. Accept it.
Well, in a way, that's kind of a like the medium is the message thing of like, it's not just the thing we did that is what we're trying to get across to you. It's the fact that we're lying brazenly to you, and we clearly have no fear of this blowing back
because
on us.
We know that that's what a lot of you want to hear.
Well, some of you, but we also know that the people who don't want to hear it will be so disturbed by the fact that we're lying straight to your face about it with no repercussions. Like, I heard someone describe it as like the force is the message, or something like that, or the force is the propaganda, is what I heard this week.
Yeah, and I know the cruelty is the point has been made many times, but one thing that I think this kind of drove home for me is it's not that they're like, the point is ICE deporting people, and if people have to get shot in the in the process, we will live with that. The right celebration of this is that we are glad that this leftist SJW lesbian got killed. And that seems to be, so clear in all their messaging. They're not trying to hide in any way. It's she deserved to die, not because she was going to necessarily run over this guy, although that's the general point, but because she disobeyed.
Yes.
And
Yes.
she dared to disobey while being, so many things the right hates: a woman, a leftist, and a lesbian, and
a driver, a woman driver.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
Right there.
Yeah, she dared to not have a chauffeur.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that is, the idea that the punishment in so many Americans' eyes, and let's be frank, probably in Canada too, the punishment for disrespect to police or to ICE is death. Is a good thing in people's eyes, is a horrifying realization. Not that I didn't know that to some degree before, but it really drives it home.
Yeah, and like disrespect on the level of saying, "I'm not mad at you, dude."
Yeah.
Like-
and her wife said some things that were just basically like all things I would probably agree with, being like,
Yep.
go home, get out of here, no one wants you here, blah blah blah. Like, and was but spoke in a way that's like it just called this piece of shit's manhood
Yeah.
into
Yes.
question enough that he was like, not only am I gonna kill you, or in this case your partner, I'm also gonna say fucking bitch after you're dead.
The
And I'm
disrespect-
walking back to my car.
Yes.
The disrespect was the lack of fear. The fact that they weren't
Yes.
afraid of him
Yeah.
visibly
Yes.
was enough to be countered as disrespect to all these fucking fractions of men
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
join ICE right now.
Yes, and I do want to talk about one of the components of the story, which is the ICE and which is the ICE recruitment process and who they are bringing in. Quickly before we get to that, I don't know if there's any real details to this other than just it's an irony worth pointing out. But a few years ago, everyone is up in arms about being asked to wear a mask, being asked to get a vaccine, and now there's people roaming around the streets fully able to wear masks, it turns out, killing people. So, like, why is the "don't tread on me" crowd totally fine with the government killing people?
Because of economic anxiety, Luke.
They're targeting the people that they want them to target.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the people of color and the women and the gays and sometimes the women who are the gays.
You can't be two things.
What?
Sometimes you can be three things. I've heard.
Stop.
I've heard. It's
Crazy.
gross.
We've heard of a tale of a woman of color who is also a lesbian somewhere in the woods.
I'm sorry, you had to. We'll edit that.
Somewhere Wanda Sykes is like, oh fuck.
I do think actually to what we were talking about a minute ago about like everyone seeing this online or even seeing fucking snuff videos online. Yeah. The fact that we've turned all of the discourse that we ingest into just partisan entertainment, especially on the right, none of this is real to them. They're all like, oh, it's a show that I watch where people I don't like get theirs. It never feels like, oh, this is a human being. This is someone I could know. It would have to literally be an officer putting a gun in their face personally for it to ever register to them as like, oh, maybe this is real and there are consequences to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you were if you were to take the position of one of these people celebrating this, but who are also condemning vague leftists for celebrating the Charlie Kirk shooting, how do you internally rationalize that, if you can?
Weak will? Bad faith?
I mean,
Yeah, fair enough.
obviously, it's the two magic words. That's different.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow up. You could just say that's different.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
there.
Yeah. Like we like those are two solid things to compare. Where the right's kind of view of the Charlie Kirk thing was being like he was just sitting there. He wasn't causing violence. He was just sitting there talking, as opposed to this woman who was trying to ram all of the ICE agents with her car, and apparently is a part of a left-wing conspiracy group of people who get together and text each other about what ICE agents are going to try to run over next.
You know what?
Like,
Maybe the left should start that conspiracy. You're already doing the time.
let's make him
man.
afraid.
So just like
It's like double jeopardy. It's like,
Start
they
a
can't
dis-
imprison us again.
start a Discord channel, get some
Leak some
Illuminati.
fake group chats.
Yeah, start programming some kids. You know, come on. Get in there, you fucking slackers.
You know what? Do Pizzagate for real. Who's to stop you?
Oh my God.
Jesus.
I like pizza. This sounds fun.
Not that conspiracy. Of all the conspiracies.
Slippery slope, Nile, too late. This was your idea.
Niles again endorses Pizzagate.
What happened to
News
us
at 11.
running the world? Boy, Luke sends away for a few videos and he's a different man.
Yeah, I'm sending away from them now. I'm still paying for my physical media of people getting killed. Thank you very much. I have it on 4K and a
You
Blu-ray.
said you were a completionist. You're
Yeah.
like, oh shit, I forgot.
Dude, the vinyl of this guy getting chopped in half is so much better. All right, let's talk about the nature of ICE and the people they are recruiting.
Oh, guys, let's just speed run this episode. Want to do it? Want to do it in like 15 minutes? You think they're going to be upset? Sorry, here we go.
No, that's fine. The number of stories that have come out since the shooting about how one of the things that is happening is that ICE is essentially recruiting truly unqualified people and imbuing them with insane amounts of power. There are multiple stories out that a number and a very high percentage of the recruits cannot read or write at a passable level. Have no firearms training, have no physical stamina. There was a sit-up requirement as part of the recruitment process that was done away with because not enough percentage of the recruits could meet however many sit-ups they were required.
Okay, I'm in favor of that one.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying I could, but I'm not trying to join ICE anytime soon. It's not a fit. I don't, if you're expecting to work a physical job, so like physical fitness is part of the job. Now, obviously, that's not the issue here with this shooting, but it's just a symptom of the larger problem, which is they are taking bottom of the barrel people who just want power and to be able to exert that power over people. It's thousands of cartmans running around the street heavily armed.
Well, I mean, obviously, from what we've seen, crunches are irrelevant. You don't want that. You want like what's your turnaround? How fast can you get upset? Yeah. That's what you should be measuring.
Yeah.
How are you doing today? What the fuck does that? Oh, you're in. You're hired.
This guy's a manager now.
0 to rage in 60 seconds flat.
Show him a picture of a woman with blue hair and see how quickly he shoots her in the face.
They have a blood pressure thing hooked up to them.
He just
how high it spikes.
Smashes it on the table like a gorilla. She's not here. Ah! He's in. This is your platoon.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with a former soldier who had been in Iraq or something like that, and he was talking about the training specifically in terms of firearms and like reaction time and how you react in times of danger and chaos, and how he was like, I worked with like an 18-year-old who was the dumbest motherfucker you've ever seen, and still when we were driving along and like a car with quote unquote enemies coming towards us, he still did every single thing that he was trained to do other than shoot. Like, other than shoot them. This 18-year-old dipshit kid still had a better sense of, like, how to react to actual physical danger than ICE agents would ever have.
Well, in a lot of ways, it's very clear that it's not just that they're like, we want anyone and we will just hire anyone. They're selecting for people who are bad at this.
Okay, but I will say I haven't read the full article. I started to read it and then I got distracted today. But there was a lady who wrote a piece being like, I'm hired by ICE,
yeah.
right? And she's like a leftist person who's spoken out about Donald Trump, like her social media is out there for the world to see, and they hired her.
But she'd done like a tour in Afghanistan, and she's like,
yes.
maybe
Against her will, or what?
No,
She was doing it for the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I can bullshit my way into this and get a sense of what ICE is, and then over the process was so janky that she forgot about it.
Yeah.
And found an email in her inbox that was like,
welcome to ICE.
Exactly. Like, without her signing anything, without doing anything. And she's like, oh my God, if the holes are this big in the recruitment process, imagine the idiots that want this job that they're hiring.
Then that's the solve. Everyone who is a progressive, apply to ICE now. You're in, then you get command, and then it's like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore.
Everyone gets guns.
A day off.
Yeah.
Today's donut day. Listen, you're telling me that you can't, like, if you get enough progressives in there, they're going to crush all the exams because they want it more.
Hey, baristas, you're all ICE now.
Yeah.
Go there and also don't really do a good job.
Yeah. And you're going to get paid? Hi, I just solved it. You're welcome.
I see a few flaws in the plan.
Everyone is ICE now.
Name one.
I mean, it's sort of the equivalent of telling people to join the Gestapo to stop the Gestapo. So, that's the concern.
I mean, they didn't try it, did they?
But if good guys are all the Gestapo...
Yeah.
This just in. Nile supports the Gestapo.
This is not my best episode.
Gestapo and Pizzagate. The Nile's again story.
Let's see if I can go for a triple.
Yeah.
I don't know what the next one is, but it's gonna be bad.
But I was gonna say, like, they're hiring all of America's least employable goons and thugs because they want these guys. They want these guys to get run over. They want these guys to get hurt by someone at a traffic stop. They want them on camera to be killed so that they can justify the Insurrection Act.
Yes.
I don't even think you're giving them way too much credit. I think it's warm bodies. I don't think they give a fuck. I think if they had a pulse, they're like, you're in. I think they just need boots on the ground.
I guarantee Stephen Miller is jerking off to the idea of
Yeah.
that ICE agent actually getting run over by that woman's
And
car.
the way they could use that idea.
Exactly.
Sure. But I don't think it's like only evil. They're like, yeah, sure, you close enough. Well,
Maybe ICE on a smaller level, but like on an administrative level, I think this is exactly
but
what
like
they're going for.
the I don't know. I mean, shit, none of us are there, so who knows? But I feel like from what I understand, their quotas or whatever they're being asked to do are very high. They're like trying to deport everybody or some ridiculous number.
Yeah,
right?
that's why they're going after the people doing it legally. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're much easier to catch than people doing it illegally.
So if I'm management if I'm like middle management and like, you know, I'm getting word from on high, oh, only hire evil. I'm like, I don't care. I like these are, you know, it's like the evil wire. Did you guys ever see The Wire?
Yeah. I didn't quite track the metaphor, but
Well,
yeah.
The Wire was like it's drugs on the table, right?
Yeah.
They're just like they just needed the numbers. It
Right.
had nothing
It's a
to do
numbers
with
game.
solving the
Yes,
crime.
yes.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think I don't think what you two are saying is contradictory. I think absolutely it is a numbers game and it is a blah, blah, blah. But I also think behind the scenes, Miller and his are absolutely hoping for shit to go down so that they can get, you know, the pretense for
just want a little-
their Reichstag fire.
Yeah, I was just going to say they want a series of little Reichstag fires.
Yeah.
Just everywhere.
I would say like I know we didn't like my idea about joining. I don't understand if we got more of us in
no,
this.
I just signed up.
I don't get it.
And I'm
But
Canadian, and they took me.
I will say, progressives are always on the back foot, and that needs to change. It has something to do with like, you know, we're always like locked into like, oh my God, you hear this? Oh my God, you hear that?
Yeah.
And all we're doing is reacting. I think it is a matter of work smarter, not harder. And I do have an example from Humankind, which is a lovely book you should read. I cannot remember this German town, but there's a town in Germany. Every year, August, whatever, neo-Nazis would march through the town because there was some dog shit Nazi that was buried in a local graveyard. And then they would have protests, and sometimes they would get nasty. So someone had a very clever idea of they just painted the street, and they put markings, and they turned it into sort of like a drive. So every time the Nazis crossed a line, people would cheer because that would raise more money for an organization that got people out of Nazi organizations. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that is a really smart way. Because then the Nazis didn't have that thing. Because like most of the right needs opposition. Right? Like I've heard like one of the things, if someone's like a dick to you, says something really vicious, you just sit there in the silence. If you don't react, then it just sort of, it's like echoes there, and then they just keep going, and there's nothing to push up against.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a big part of, like, I think progressives need to be pro-progressives more than reacting to this, because this is it's just energy just dissipating, right? We're losing our fucking minds, posting, reacting, and then what happens?
I think you can do both. I mean, I think having very clever ways to defeat ICE and this encroachment on civil liberty is great. And I think if you can find ways to be proactive instead of just like opposing what ICE is doing, I think that's great. But I also think you can't cede the space to ICE, and especially when there are real humans being harmed. Like
Yeah.
the reason people are out there trying to block ICE and blowing whistles is because they're trying to stop people from getting deported to El Salvador and stuff like that.
The thing is, the way approaching it like that is like, it's like if you're Steph Curry and you decide, basketball.
I'm going to get it.
Okay, one person's going to get it.
I
Hey,
knew the
if I made a
name.
hockey one, 0 of you.
She sounds like a very good basketball player.
Steph Curry is like epic three-point shooter, right? But a little small. But so you wouldn't get him to like post up.
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't get him to defend a big guy because he would drain his energy. That is what's happening to the left. They're trying to do the big game when they should be shooting shots. I don't know what the shooting shot looks like, but progressives better figure it out.
I hear you. It's a very valid point. The debate between how much do you give the confrontation that the right clearly wants, and how much do you find ways to make your point, you know, on your own and conserve your energy for the fights ahead. I think it's a totally valid point. The issue with obviously is stepping back is that if you let ICE, and by the way, we haven't said this, but like the reason ICE is in Minnesota and Minneapolis is because of all these bullshit Somali daycare stories. So like this started with a right-wing conspiracy theory. It has now resulted in however many people being deported, plus obviously one innocent woman losing her life. Like these things, when festering, when they start on these like far-right corners of the internet, under this administration at least, have this ability to blow up onto Main Street in a way that is quickly and immediately horrifying.
Almost if it's by design.
Yes, and they are 100%. And there's no, unless we're, the mainstream media who are constantly shocked that this happens. Like, what do you mean this story that was just a 4chan bullshit conspiracy theory is now dictating Trump policy? It's like, oh wow, I wonder if that was planned. But like, we know that, and obviously a ton of people do know that. But it's one of those things where it's like that's the argument for not ceding the space and not opposing them where they are, because they have this ability to fester and to blow things up in a way that does harm people in real life. So I am of two minds on it. I do want to quickly make the point, like everyone treats like abolishing ICE as some like extreme left wing position. This thing didn't exist before 22 years ago. Like this was a recent creation by the standards of American political history. Like, and there was obviously ways to go through Border Patrol and security before ICE came around. So like, I think having, a extremely right-wing, militarized police force, but with bigger guns, running around American cities, that is just waiting for a Republican to get in office because they can do their dirty work and unleash them in a way is inherently a problem. So the next Democrat who gets in, if they have any, strength or cojones, I know, they're on. They have to at least consider severely, curtailing ICE, because just leaving this malignant force on the books waiting for the next even worse Donald Trump to come along is going to kill you.
I did see Jamel Bowie from the New York Times had a good comment about that, which is he kind of agrees. He's like, I think that coming to it from a place of your platform is abolish ICE, that's hard to get traction with.
Yeah.
His suggestion was reform, or not reform, but like we're going to properly train ICE. We're going to devote more resources to training ICE properly, because that's a way in of saying once you get in there and try and do that, this thing is unreformable. We're starting from scratch.
Or you just put you put enough requirements in that all these people Trump has recruited wash out because they can't meet the requirements.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So like if you want to hide abolishing it under the guise of reforming it, fine by me. I don't care.
And also making them aware that the crimes that they commit under the Trump administration are still prosecutable in the next administration.
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, Nuremberg trials are like the moderate position at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that Trump and Vance both came out and said ICE agents have absolute immunity is truly one of these. Well, that'll be in a history book someday.
Isn't Jenny Vance a fucking lawyer? Like a literal Yale-educated lawyer?
Yeah, but then so were a lot of dumb people.
Right.
It's really that means nothing. But yes. Well, let's talk a little bit about non-horrific ICE shooting related things. Mark Carney is currently in China in the middle of a 3-day trip. He is there to discuss trade. China is making it very clear that actually he is there so that we can come under the wing of China and escape the yoke of America. Immediately, state media was out that. Before
I'm not listening.
Yeah, exactly.
I only hear solutions right now.
Yeah.
The Carney
that could be the third thing, by the way. I fully endorse that.
At least we'll get some goddamn trains, you know what I mean? Some bullet trains for a change.
Ooh.
But so Carney is there presumably to talk about dropping or at least severely reducing the tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles in exchange for China dropping their tariffs on our food products like canola, et cetera. How would you guys, if all of a sudden there were dozens of models of Chinese electric vehicles on the street for, $20,000 less than modern made North American cars, would you guys be interested in that? Or does that seem like,
in
not
this
something
world,
you would
we
want
can
to
all
buy?
afford cars.
That was going to be my thing. I was like, I'm bold of you to assume that I can afford a car.
Would they trade one? Would they trade one for my rusty 2007 Hyundai Sonata?
But that's what I'm saying. These cars are so cheap compared to North American-made cars.
1,000% would get one.
Yeah.
I think we're like one of 2 countries or 3 countries that don't get Chinese EVs.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why?
Well, presumably because we're trying to protect Canadian,
We put a tariff on them.
North American auto manufacturers who build in Canada.
Well, that's not going well for us, is it?
No, it's not.
I do believe we're on a break, to use the expression.
It's almost like Canada has a bunch of car factories that are going unused at the moment, and we could maybe partner with a country that wants to make cars.
Gee golly.
Well, I don't think. I mean, I'll be surprised if the result is they're going to be made here. I think very much China would still make them and just send them over on massive container ships. But you never know. I guess there could be some deal where they get the batteries get installed in Oshawa or whatever.
We'll slap a Jan Arden sticker on them or something. I don't know, something Canadian. I don't know why that was my first go-to
When you
reference.
think of electric
No,
vehicles,
she'll
you
do
think of
commercials
Jan
for them.
Arden.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Remember when she had her own Curb Your Enthusiasm sitcom, and that was a thing for 3 years?
You know what's wild?
Jan.
It wasn't bad. It was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
She was like enemies with Sarah McLachlan. It was a good time.
Hey, that's fun.
Dope.
Okay, yeah. I think the bigger question, besides just would we be interested in Chinese EVs, is, you know, how cozy do we want to get to China, who again until quite recently was literally kidnapping and holding hostage 2 Canadians. You know, does being on the outs with America mean we have to get closer to China? Should we try and go it alone? What do we do here?
I was thinking about this today, just in terms of like reading up about there was a lot of criticism out there right now about us cozying up to China and, like, you know, getting rid of the States and going over to China, which is, you know, has horrific human rights abuses as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Unlike the States.
unlike the States, exactly. No, but like,
And unlike Canada.
No, but like yes, but my point is just, you know, like, if we only trade with morally good countries,
Oh, Narnia.
who are we? Well, yes, I was going to say, is it Iceland? Close enough.
I'm sorry to tell you, they have a Wicked Witch there.
Oh, son of a.
Narnia is pretty
Oh,
rough.
yeah.
They're also pretty religious.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and I think that's always kind of the perpetual question for me. Which
Oh,
is
sure.
just,
Yeah, we have to trade with somebody.
we got to trade with somebody, because I don't know. I'm not an economist, but I know. I'm sorry. I've been lying to you this whole time now. Not to
bought your
anybody else.
book.
What? But oh no, what was I saying?
You're not an economist, but
Yeah, I don't think that we can't be a self-sustaining country.
No,
so
those
we got to
days don't
trade.
exist anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a question of how bad are we accepting the country to, you know.
Yeah, and I don't even. There's the moral element that you're talking about, like how, like, you know, like when we traded like we were willing to trade to Saudi Arabia military equipment, it just couldn't have like weapons on it, right? So you would trade like light armored vehicles, but you wouldn't trade tanks. For
It just had weapon slots.
yeah, exactly. That they could put in very easily later.
We're
yeah,
really
that was
good at trading components.
yes.
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
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 all
yeah.
about
If you
those
put them all
components.
together, we're pretty dirty.
Yeah, so like that was a distinction we made. Did that make any difference? Like morally, probably not.
No.
But we were willing to say to ourselves, it's okay to trade with Saudi Arabia as long as we don't give them actual guns. Was that bullshit? Maybe, but that was the line in the sand we drew. With China, there's the moral element of that. Is like, okay, how much are they, through benefiting of our trade, going to use this, you know, against, you know, to propagate a regime that is oppressing people? I don't know. But then there's the component that China has shown many times, that trade with them comes at a very specific price, which is they're going to do some sneaky shit. They're gonna spy on you. They're gonna drop malware. They're going to, you know,
Ask that you become the 51st state. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
we all remember the stories of Huawei, the phone company, and all the like they're spying on you stories that came around. Like China is going to exact.
Yeah, unlike my phone, that's definitely not spying on me right now.
For sure, but again, is your phone spying on you so that they can sell you fucking, you know, I'm about to be a dad T-shirts versus your phone spying on you so they can sell your secrets to China is maybe two different things.
Well, China's just going to sell it to a data broker, right? And then they
Yeah.
will sell you Temu, I'm about to be a dad T-shirt.
Fair enough.
Like, or Alibaba T-shirts.
All
Like, it's the
fair.
same shit. different
Yeah,
guy.
it's actually much better quality.
Yeah, Silicon Valley, we know, is definitely not in bed with the White House.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Or the American
absolutely
regime
not.
or
No,
anything like
tech
that.
corporations hate the White House right now.
I genuinely look, I'm not saying it's good. I'm not like huzzah, but I don't understand why we would ask ourselves the question now when we haven't asked ourselves the question
Yeah.
once
Oh,
before.
1,000%.
Like,
it's just
we're-
something that I
it's-
was thinking about because it just came, you know.
No, not just I'm just saying, like, in general, we're all like, oh, do we get in with China? It's like, why not? We're already we're dirty.
No, but I take your point. Up until this point, the American whole experiment seemed more or less even keel, and we were fine to just be look the other way with all the ways we were compromised with our relationship to them. And then instead of gradually changing over a number of years, they kind of hard changed overnight.
Yeah.
And it's forcing us to acknowledge that maybe they were bad in a lot of ways for a long time. I think Canada is at a point right now where, unfortunately, I'm not saying we can't care about human rights. I think the best we can do right now is try and lead by example. We can't try and dictate human rights to other countries anymore. It's just,
No, and we were bullshitting ourselves that we ever thought we could. I
Sure,
agree, I agree we thought
absolutely,
we
yeah.
could, but we always probably looked pretty ridiculous to your Chinas and your Russias of the world with like, some country of 30 million people in the fucking snow above America being like, oh, we think you guys should have a Declaration of Human Rights and sign this piece of paper, please.
While we move some like mass grave in a residential
Yeah.
school. Yeah, for
100%.
sure. Yeah, hey,
Yeah, we were always
we
were always tilting at windmills, thinking we were having any influence, no matter how many heritage minutes that were made about the UN Declaration of Human Rights and stuff.
Have we tried exporting those? They could learn how we invented basketball with peach baskets.
That would change everything.
Right?
Everything.
Someone in China's just like, I need those baskets
China
back.
needs to know about Anne of Green Gables, God damn it.
Well, sorry, not China. Japan
Yo,
very much
Japan
knows about
loves
it.
Anne of Green Gables.
If you go to PEI in the summer, man, there's a lot of Japanese tourists hitting up the Anne of Green Gables farmhouse or whatever the hell it is. But yeah, so I've been there. I don't remember what it was. Museum, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, like, so the other side of it is like, okay, let's say we're putting our morals completely aside and we don't, we're just going to do business with China as long as it's efficient for us. And
Focus on the economy.
we're also not going to worry about the ways they're going to spy on us and fuck us over, et cetera.
To be clear, we're putting our moral sides again. Okay.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
What if in 3 years the U.S. elects someone normal, aka not a Republican, and we have now completely changed our place in the world in exchange for, and now we do not have this relationship with America, which is now back to being like a normal place. Normal, yes, not great place to do business with.
I take your point. Considering like the United States is 75% of our trade right now, I don't think it's realistic to assume that we're going to be able to move that much. That like I feel like the transition, if we were to transition back, isn't going to be that wild.
No, I mean geographically, it's so easy.
Yeah. And I think
Please.
any future president of the United States, hypothetical, is going to probably understand why we made the decisions that we did, and so they're not gonna. I mean, I don't know. God knows, I'm a optimist sometimes, but I'm like, I don't think that they would hold this against us.
Yeah, President George Clooney is probably going to be like, yeah, guys, I get what the whole deal was.
Yeah.
But also, I would hope that if there's a Democrat president, that's a big if, I would hope that they also acknowledge that, like, yeah, our country has proven ourselves to be irrational actors, and we can't conclusively guarantee to you guys that 4 years from now, there won't be another Trump.
Yep.
So we get that you guys maybe have to hedge your bets.
For sure. Yeah, but like once I think the corollary to that is, you're right. We might be able to like completely reestablish relations with the U.S. and then every 4 years it gets fucked when a Republican gets in power, et cetera. But I think the counter to that would be, once you're kind of really in bed with China, they're not letting you go. You know what I mean? Once you sign the deals, once you have the agreements, once you're taking their stuff and they're taking your stuff more than we are currently, it's not as simple as just being like, okay, bye, China. Like, you know what I mean? They have a huge amount of power over us in this scenario. And so that's the thing, is like, is it a deal you can break once you make it? And you probably can't.
Right.
But do we care? Probably not. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I'm presenting the other argument, but I'm not really disagreeing that it is the best of bad options.
I'll take lawful evil over chaotic evil.
Yeah,
100%.
They're not.
That's
at least
a great
we
way
can
to describe it.
Kind of be sure that China's not going to be basing, the percentage of their tariffs based on whether we're meanies to them on Twitter.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is a bad actor who acts rationally.
Yeah.
And, so will there be huge problems if we are, doing huge amounts of business with China and they invade Taiwan? Yeah. And we will probably have to confront that at some point.
Well,
Right, but like if let's say we didn't have Trump and everything was fine, and China invaded Taiwan, what would we do?
Yeah.
A
nothing.
strongly worded letter.
I just saw
it's-
today.
I mean, maybe
Not that- by
economic
the way,
sanctions.
I'm not all like, I joke, but I'm not all like, let's go all in on China. It would be nice if someone in our government learned soft power, and somehow some soft power, some diplomacy. Maybe get us to a way where we're like, we have fingers in a lot of pies, so that not one person can be like, hey, your economy's finished.
Yeah, that would be nice if that's a very good way to put it. If not one person in Washington D.C. could decide the Canadian economy is done for the rest of their time in office.
It's insane that we've been raw dogging for decades. That is crazy. Crazy.
But the crazy part is that it largely made sense at the time.
Yeah.
It was kind of just working moment to moment, and then hindsight is 2020.
All of a sudden-
we were in a relationship where it's like, okay, he drinks a lot, he's a little toxic, and it's like, yeah, now it's turn.
I mean, I completely agree with you that in hindsight it was crazy, but it wasn't like it wasn't a debate. All of the 20th century leading up to the free trade agreement was, I mean, there were multiple elections defined about, do we go protectionist? Do we have free trade with the U.S.? Like, this went back and forth 40 different ways, and like, there was like Laurier, who was a free trade guy, and a million people who were then half free trade, half protectionist, and like Diefenbaker being like, no, we're going to go with Britain, and everyone was like, that's too far. But like, there were so many arguments about this, and I agree with you, we ended up on the wrong side. Looking back, it was just a thing that like, we went back and forth on it so much and argued about it so much, and eventually we're just like, that free trade agreement, when it's worth pointing out in retrospect, the majority of people voted for non-free trade parties, but because the non-free trade vote was split between the NDP and the Liberals, the free trade agreement was signed.
Way to ruin democracy, Luke. Your victory
I went
keeps
back in
on
history.
taking.
I went back in history and got Mulrooney elected, yes. I just love that chin. Well, let's talk about some democracy that may be being born, dream scenario, in Iran, where there are mass protests happening, which some experts say pose like the biggest challenge to the clerical rule since the Islamic Revolution of 1979. More than thousands of people have been taken to the streets, protests in basically every city. Tragically, more than 2,000 people have been killed, I believe mostly by the regime, although presumably there was also some accidents and things in there as well.
Like a guy fell off a ladder and they count that?
I mean,
Banana peels,
when there's
like-
thousands of people marching unruly in the street, people are going to die, whether they get shot or not.
Oh, I just meant like a completely unrelated, like a guy was fixing an outlet at home and zapped himself. And it's it happened on the day, so we got to add that.
Yeah. I mean, tell me how to do the math. But yeah, so...
Tell me, I don't know.
So there have also, it's worth saying, there have been large counter-protests by pro-government supporters. There has been a huge media blackout. They're also jamming the internet. Elon Musk got all puffy-chested and was like, I'm going to send in Starlink. And then immediately the Iranian government figured out how to block Starlink, which I'm not celebrating because that does suck, because fuck them. But it is funny to imagine Elon Musk's face when the Iranian government immediately went, well, paper covers rock, bitch.
Or maybe Starlink just blew up like his Cybertrucks.
Yeah, hey, also good guess. So we do know it originally started due to an inflation protest, which separates it from some of the other protests they've had in the past. Obviously, inflation can bring down governments kind of like no other things. See the Weimar Republic, for example. We know it has since broadened into larger complaints against the regime, who many see as corrupt and enriching themselves while the poor and middle classes suffer. There have been, huge protests in Iran before that seemed like we were on the precipice of history. This was going to be a massive turning point in the history of the Middle East and the history of Iran, and then they kind of went away.
Yeah, the last one was like 2022.
Yeah, not long ago. Yeah, it was pretty recent, and then there was another one a few years earlier in the wake of the Arab Spring. I know, obviously, Iran is not an Arab country, but it was in the wake of that. How optimistic are you guys that these protests are actually going to bring actual change?
It worked in Iraq. Anyway, sorry.
In the sense that the American military invaded Iraq multiple times?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I feel like it's just it sounds from what I've been reading kind of like an attrition thing, where it's just like, how long are the people able to hold out against their government? That's, considering the government has recently said that all the protesters are criminals and all criminals are an enemy of God. That's a pretty big... that's a pretty big declaration, and they're going to prosecute them to the extent of the law.
Yeah,
and
that's the kind of thing you say before you murder someone.
Absolutely, and the fact that like one of their first concessions, quote unquote, was offering to give every citizen $11 a month as an allowance to help offset their financial troubles.
Yeah,
like 11 Canadian dollars.
How broke is this country?
Yeah, wait, hold on. But how much does that buy? I feel like that might actually buy a lot. No?
The problem is when you're dealing with inflation, if you give everyone money, the prices just go up by the amount you gave
Fair
people.
point. See, that's why I'm not an economist.
I mean, I'm certainly not either.
Because you haven't read my book.
I did read. I flipped through it.
Oh, okay, fair.
Well, the crazy thing...
There were no pictures, I'm sorry.
I know, it was disappointing.
You mentioned attrition, Claire, and Luke, you mentioned like that they're saying like 2,000 protesters have been killed at this point. There are reports coming out today, literally today, that like it might be as high as 12 or 20,000.
Yeah, 2,000 was confirmed, I believe, by an official, and then there's obviously rampant speculation. we get it, like, again, with such an intense blackout in a country where obviously it was always difficult to get access to information. It is very hard to say definitively what is happening and how close we are to something world changing.
Sure. I will also say, all of the death, all of the repression, bad. A government mandated internet break.
Not bad.
Kind of sound in 2026 that kind of sounds nice.
That sounds so relaxing.
Everyone who's not a protester is just like sleeping well.
Yeah, get better sleep.
Their deep sleep minutes are just skyrocketing.
Like reading books.
I would love to go a full week or two without knowing what Donald Trump is doing.
Their anxiety's going down. Their attention spans are coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. This is like it's like when you talk to your offline friends and you're like, you live in a different world.
Yeah.
Man. Like you're living in a world where people are nice to each other.
You were showing
and social
me memes
norms
from
exist.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Supreme Leader Khomeini might be onto something.
In this one very specific area. Please don't protest. Please don't protest us.
How come he doesn't get an Ian?
Oh, sorry. Ian endorses the Ayatollah.
Yes, I did just now. No.
So let's do a running tally. We got the Gestapo and Pizzagate for Nile, and the Ayatollah for Ian, and Claire just the Blue Jays still.
Yeah, I'm
Just always
comfortable
the
with
Blue
that.
Jays.
I'm sure that there are a lot of crazy right wingers on that team. As much as I
Oh
love to.
yeah, don't ask any sports people about their
Absolutely
politics.
not.
It's rough. It's
Absolutely
a real rough.
not.
It's a real rough ride out
It's
there.
the one area in my life that I actively avoid learning anything about it.
100%.
To your question a minute ago, Luke, about like, do we think that this will actually change? I don't know a lot about Iran, admittedly. I'm a little optimistic. I watched last week that movie that's up for a lot of awards right now. It was Just an Accident, the Iranian movie that just came out. It's very, very good. I highly, highly recommend it. And it's a movie, like I had no idea what to expect going into it. It's basically, and this is the premise of the movie, this isn't a spoiler, but it's about a guy who encounters a guy on the street one day and is pretty sure that his voice, because he was blindfolded in the prison camp the whole time, he's pretty sure that this is the guy that tortured him for years. And the crazy thing about this movie is that it's kind of fun and a crowd pleaser. Like, this is where Iranian civilization is right now. Like, it's almost Coen Brothers-esque at times. And the idea that Iranian society is like, we all live under an oppressive regime and we hate it. And that's just their baseline at this point.
Yeah.
It feels like this country is at a point where they're like, it's just become so normalized that like we have to do something about this. And again, I'm not an expert. I'm kind of watching this from afar.
Oh, no one here I think would claim to be any kind of Middle Eastern politics expert or the history of Iran.
Well, that's what Claire said in her other book.
Yeah, read that one.
I've
From
written
Persia
so
to
many
Shah,
books.
the Claire Blackwood textbook on Iran.
I make everything up. They come to me in dreams.
That was her other book.
Yeah.
I make everything up, which I wish you'd written that one first.
I should have written that one
because I would
first.
have known.
The thing that I thought
Yeah.
was so obviously dumbly funny about this is when Trump comes out and says like, oh, we're gonna if they attack the protesters, we're gonna bomb Iran, and like we're on the side of the protesters. Like nothing could harm the protesters more than being seen as being on the side of Trump. You know what I mean? If you want to help the protests, come out and be super pro Ayatollah. Get some of that American stank on him because your country is so hated in Iran, and you're so hated in Iran. Like that would be the best way to use how much you're hated in a good way, is like just be like, I love this guy Ayatollah Khomeini. Let's go. And then the protest would fucking increase tenfold probably.
I do like the fact that he has set the precedent that he's okay with protesters taking over a country.
Oh, yes.
Now that that's out there, it's
Yeah,
canon.
Oh, yeah.
the irony was rich this week for sure.
God, I watched this interview with him, I think, today, and it was just pure Donald Trump.
Wait, you watched an interview with Donald Trump? Like, you guys hanging out?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Can you help you write the book?
I support Donald Trump. I'm kidding.
There it is.
I gotta throw one in there. I gotta get one that's not the Blue Jays. And the reporter was asking him, being like, "Sir, you said that you're going to help the people of Iran. How do you intend to do that?" And his answer was just, "You're going to have to figure that one out. I'm sorry."
He said that?
Yes.
Amazing.
He's Stranger Things season 5 ambiguous ending day.
Yes.
Or maybe he was honestly soliciting feedback from this reporter, being like, what's your plan?
I like
Yeah.
this new governance.
Yeah.
Guys, any ideas? He just opens up to the room.
No
Yeah.
bad ideas in brainstorming.
Anyone? No?
Just takes out a whiteboard, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it is so sadly funny watching all these people like Trump who just cheered on what was happening in Gaza suddenly be like, the human rights of these protesters. I mean, we got to protect them. And it's like, can you believe a regime would kill journalists and civilians? It's like, yes, I can very much believe that would happen. Thank you. But let's stick with old Donny Boy for just one quick sec, because he has reportedly tried to indict the Fed chair. As I'm sure everyone knows, that's the person who sets interest rates, which are very fundamental to the banking system and the lending system, and basically control and to some degree inflation in the United States. Trump wants the interest rates lower, because lower interest rates usually means the economy is kicking more into high gear, but also means inflation kicks up, because when there's more money in the system, as we just talked about, prices tend to go up.
And I'm sure Trump, one of the most heavily indebted men in the history of the nation, has no interest in interest rates.
No, absolutely
at
not.
all.
Yeah, no. And he's not obviously just juicing a system that he will then rug pull out of. Yeah, for sure. But the Fed chair, who's Jerome Powell, released a video basically saying that, this had not leaked as far as I know. He fully just came out and broke this story for us from himself, saying the DOJ is investigating him over the cost of the remodeling of the Fed chair building, which he testified, I guess, in front of Congress about, and said roughly how much it was going to cost, and it has now exceeded that. So they're essentially investigating him for perjury to Congress, which, again, I know we're so sick of pointing out the irony of things, but the irony of Trump and Trump's administration potentially arresting someone for not being honest with Congress is insane. But anyways, so he has, and he has basically said, like, I know this is a threat to get me to lower interest rates, and I won't do it. Like, which is the most, like, I'm an economist first and a human second. Like, anything to protect what I think are the accurate, the best interest rates. I don't beat me, torture me. I don't care. Interest rates above all.
S-tier economist, baby.
Mark Carney is a poster of Jerome Powell up on his wall right now.
Oh my God,
Oh
that's so
my God,
true.
yes.
Yeah, just like he is the one who he's like, here's Jesus, like he sacrificed all for us. He was up on that cross, and by cross I mean the Congress building, testifying.
Little shrine, some candles, lock of his hair.
Yeah, so like the severeness of Trump's response to a guy, who's just in a political dispute with him over interest rates. Do we think it's about Trump genuinely believing that lower interest rates will juice the economy and get his popularity back up, or is it just he can't stand anyone standing up to him?
No, I don't think it's any of that. I think it's just, I don't even think that he understands what all this is necessarily. I think he wants to be able to produce a cool little inflation chart that says inflation and be able to take his Sharpie and draw a downward line on it and show the American people all the good things he's done for the economy.
I agree, but lowering interest rates would increase inflation.
Yeah, but people don't understand that.
Okay, fair enough.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong.
He thank you. He just wants to go, look, I brought things down.
Yeah.
Forget about the Epstein files.
True. Yes.
I genuinely think that is what it is.
In fairness, we haven't really mentioned the Epstein files at all this episode.
Forgotten about
Yes.
the Epstein files.
So mission accomplished. But yeah, no, you're right. Like, he lives moment to moment. All he wants is to be able to say the thing on the news one day.
Yeah.
And by the time the consequences catch up to them, he's 5 idiotic things deep.
He solved 20 wars.
Yeah.
He's brought interest rates down.
Yeah.
What's he going to do tomorrow?
For sure.
Hey, a thing we talked about last week. Remember Venezuela, guys?
Yeah.
Do we? Because I barely do.
I love that he bounces around from thing to thing, but he also takes us with him.
Yeah.
Because we're all like, what is it this week? Like, we've completely forgotten about
truly a
Venezuela.
roller coaster.
Completely forgotten about Epstein.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I mean, it is, again, we talk about, how he's setting precedents. Like, I know no one will ever have the guts to do it, but that's the one thing, if you could, to take away from Donald Trump, if you're a lefty or a progressive, that you should steal that move, is just move fast and move on to the next thing, and you won't get bogged down in these endless scandals where we spend 6 months talking about Hillary's emails. Like, just move on to the next thing. And yes, I know the media is complicit with Trump in a way they wouldn't be with a Democrat or a normie politician, but like, move fast and break things fucking works. And if you're actually breaking things that should be broken instead of like all semblance of decorum and goodwill and humanity, then you should take that lesson away from Trump. I know they'll never do it, and I know the media would be all over them if they tried, but like, it's such an effective strategy of like, you're mad at me about this thing? Well, too bad. And tomorrow I'm announcing something even crazier.
I know that this is kind of the obvious go-to thing these days, but like, look at Mamdani in New York City. He is instituting policies like now, and getting started on stuff. And some of them might not work out, but he's demonstrably trying things right off the bat and getting caught trying.
Yeah, his first day, he announced a bunch of anti-Israel stuff, and of course, a ton of conservative and Zionist people were furious about that. But he just moved on. He was just like, and the next day I announced another thing.
Childcare.
Yeah,
Childcare now.
Yeah,
See, that's what I was talking about earlier. Best defense is a good offense.
Okay. Yeah.
Fair enough.
You don't spend time reacting. You go to the next thing.
Yep.
Yeah, no, fair
I've been
enough.
saying the same thing the whole time, you guys.
That's the point of the podcast, is for us to all finally agree on a political strategy we have no power to enforce.
Exactly.
The other thing that's so dumb about this, on top of all the other dumb things, this guy's term, first of all, he was appointed by Trump. This guy's term is up in May. It's 4.5 months.
Yep.
And you can just replace him with your stooge who will do whatever you want.
Buddy,
which is
Trump's
obviously what
not
he's
going to be
do.
upright by May.
We keep saying it, and the thing doesn't happen.
I want to change my pool thing. I said 3 months. It's not going to be short, so I'm going to go long. Whatever who had the longest?
I think I said 8.
I think I said 7.
I think I said a year, close to a year.
Yeah, so I'll say a year and a month. 2 months. I'll say
Yeah,
a year
yeah.
and 2 months.
Yeah. Chat up to our Patreon to vote on our pool.
Completely unnecessary.
When Donald
We're
Trump...
definitely putting a pool up tomorrow.
Oh,
Get on
yeah,
that.
1,000%.
But we just have to say when the thing happens, and I don't know, we'll throw in some prize money.
This is, by the way,
A copy of my book.
I was.
Which one?
You got to write a book very
Called
fast.
When Trump Dies.
No, when the thing happens, let's not get sued. let's not get canceled here.
Hey, everyone's going to die.
Yeah, no, that's
I
true.
know, like Mom Donnie at When Trump Dies. Just go on, and as soon as people react, you're on to the next book.
1,000%.
Let's keep moving.
1,000%.
Let's float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, everybody. That's what we're doing.
Okay, well, before we move to our big close, a quick word to you, the listener. First of all, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for checking us out. If you would be so kind, please hop on your podcast app of choice, leave 5 stars, leave a review. Also, tell a friend, maybe share some of our video clips. Tell people to check us out, because we'd like to grow this thing to even bigger and better than it already is. And if you are so inclined, you can support us monetarily at patreon.com/thebeaverton. Not only will you be keeping the podcast going, the website alive, you also get an extended cut version of this episode every week, where we talk about a story or stories we didn't cover on the regular episode. I'm not going to say what we covered this week, because as of now, I'm not sure which part's going in the Patreon yet. Normally I know, but this week it's up for debate. And if you're a Patreon member listening to this, thank you so much, Patreon members. You are the reason we get to do this, and we truly, truly appreciate it. Ian, do you have any shout-outs this week?
Oh, buddy, do I ever. We got a lot of comments on our show last week, everyone. Over on YouTube, Coyote07 said, I grew up in Kitchener, and I really hope Kitchener Man doesn't catch up. It's mostly
That sounds like a thing a Kitchener man would say.
Well, he says it's mostly just college kids and boring tech startups these days. But then over on Patreon, Rachel E. Beatty said, as someone who grew up in Kitchener, I am in complete agreement that Kitchener Man should be Canada's version of Florida Man.
Fight.
So duke it out in the comments, everyone. And speaking of our Patreon, we got a couple of thank yous. Some of our new Patreon supporters, we got Ronald Marianka, Catherine Scott, and just Colin, a guy named Colin.
Hey, you don't need to give us your last name, man. We're not here to dynamite you. It's
Colin
fine.
Hanks, Colin Firth, whoever it is, we don't know.
Colin Firth.
And some of our OG Patreon supporters, thank you very much. Ken McDougall, Kyle Darrell, and Donald Simmons. We love you all. You're fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you, Ian, and thank you, Patreon members. And now it is time for the approximately 10-minute long quiz.
It's the approximately 10-minute long quiz. Brought to you by Time.
Every week, I ask our panel to play the approximately 10-minute long quiz, where I put their knowledge of some less widely reported news stories to the test. Panel, our first question, as I'm sure you know, we are currently in peak people complaining about winter season. For what winter-related reason did one York man call 911?
He was sick and tired of all those snowflakes bothering him on the street.
Each one's different, and I don't like it. I want two to be the same.
He called because he was mad neighborhood kids are charging $40 to shovel a driveway now. That's
goddamn
too
kids.
much. Too much.
Kids.
I was going to just go completely unhinged, like literal old man yelling at clouds. He was upset about it snowing. Kind of like a take on what Claire's doing, but like literal snow.
Yeah, the thing is, you guys aren't wrong. I don't want to do too much of a fishing expedition here, but when the snow comes out, what would people be complaining about that isn't just the snow?
I mean,
The slush?
driveway, right? Yeah.
Like the subsequent slush?
No, so, okay, I'll just give the answer unless anyone knows it. He was complaining that snow plows are too slow. Specifically, not like too slow at removing
Okay.
snow, but just too slow as
moving.
vehicles.
Right.
So specifically, he called 911 to complain that yes, no, you forgot that part of the question.
Yeah, I did
He
forget
called
that.
911 to complain that the snow plows in front of him on the highway were driving too slow and they were gonna make him late for work. He demanded an officer be sent down.
Oh my God.
As if, and the 911 operator is like, what? I can't do anything about
To
the
what,
snow plows.
arrest the snowplow?
Yeah, well, like that's the thing is like, what does he think? Like they're gonna come down and pull over all the snowplows, which is gonna block like 3 of the 4 lanes, and now you're just not moving at all. That's much slower than slow.
Main character syndrome is out of
Honestly.
control.
Yeah, he's like, don't you guys know I need to be at my office at 8:45?
And also, without the snowplows, you ain't getting to the office, buddy.
100%. Yeah.
Leave early.
Yes.
Plan your day.
Yeah, you know,
better.
Yeah.
We've, you know, like, or just be late. What's your boss really gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be late. Work 10 minutes later at the end of the day. It'll be fine. Take 10 minutes less for lunch. It'll be all right. Our next question: the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, is making a minor adjustment to the way it calculates the cost-benefit analysis of pollution and regulations thereon. Instead of looking at the impact the pollutants will have on human life, they will now look at their impact on what?
Trump's mood,
Ooh, very good answer.
maybe.
I know.
Yeah.
Those real answers are allowed.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's just like how much money the companies will lose, essentially.
Yes, it is the cost to businesses.
Corporations, the most valuable people.
Yeah.
Yes.
The EPA now officially values human life at $0.00. But of course, that's American. So I guess Canadian lives with the exchange rate are like -$. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now they are no longer looking at how many lives will be saved by pollution regulations, which they've calculated. Like previously, the EPA has calculated how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives they've saved with these regulations. Now they're only looking at the impact on the bottom line of various corporations, presumably the ones emitting the pollution.
It's just satirical dystopian shit right here. Like it's too obvious.
I know, but you know what? It's what they're doing. So,
Yep.
all right, point to Claire on that one. Our next question: how did a Toronto sex shop incur the wrath of the U.S. Department of War?
The Pete Hegseth brand dildos kept getting whiskey dick.
Damn it.
Wow.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I essentially said it named an extra small dildo the Hegseth. So, yeah.
Both of those can be true.
Both can be true. It can be small and not work.
That's true.
Yeah.
I had it ended up in Time magazine because it wrote a satirical article about the U.S. ambassador that got quoted by Time magazine.
That could never happen. That's crazy.
No, crazy.
Anyone know the real answer?
Oh, that wasn't it?
Oh, God,
No,
no.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I sort of do. I can't remember
Please.
the country, but it was like they kept having their products accidentally shipped to Bahrain or something
That's
like that. Was it
100% right.
Bahrain?
Yeah, you nailed it.
And they didn't know how?
I mean, it was
Or like
it
U.S.
wasn't less that they-
military bases in,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, they were. So it wasn't a real mystery how soldiers were ordering them.
Right.
But originally they don't ship to Bahrain. But it was clearly was happening was soldiers were ordering them to their base, presumably stateside, and then forwarding them on to Bahrain for when they were deployed or to their friends and sexual partners. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, so the specific letter that was forwarded on to them from the U.S. military was stop sending butt plugs to Bahrain. Because, I should say the reason for this is that some countries, including Bahrain, don't allow these toys. They are contraband, they're illegal. So obviously this was a crime to send them to them, technically under Bahrainian law. And so, so then the letter added anal beads to Germany are fine. But
Huge export.
Yeah.
It's like that and potash for
they're like,
Canada.
we got a lot.
I thought it was a tactical thing because let's be real. Like if a squad of soldiers show up with like a bandolier of butt plugs, I'm just gonna go around. I will not engage. Take it. Take the hill.
That is
I'm
the
out.
title of your book, A Bandolier of Butt Plugs. It's the sequel to Band of Brothers.
Oh, God.
Both with Tom Hanks.
Just a soldier bleeding out in Normandy. Son, give me a medic. Don't worry. Is there morphine? No, but I got something better.
Something to take the edge off while you wait for a medic.
You won't be thinking about a bullet hole when you see this guy. Well, really more when you feel it.
Oh, I thought you were going to plug it with the...
Oh, that also works.
Oh my God!
I mean, it doesn't work at all. Don't try that.
Not medical advice.
I meant comedically it also works. Don't put a butt plug in a bullet hole.
Thank God. Someone
quote from the
listening to
Beaverton.
this podcast almost made a deadly mistake just now. Just call 911. Oh, okay.
Don't put a Butt plug in a bullet hole. Life advice from the Beaverton.
You know what? Compared to all the controversial things you guys have said, I feel pretty good about that being my thing. All right, so 2 points to Clare now. Our next question, Eric Adams, the former mayor of New York, has made it his post-mayoral mission to stand up for Israel and New York's Jewish community. What quite modern tool does he propose to use to combat anti-Semitism?
Eric Adams is kind of insane. So I'm going to go with...
the best thing about him.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ghostbusters gear.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, when there's something strange.
Yeah.
I had K-pop demon hunters.
Oh,
Yeah, so kind of the same neighborhood.
more relevant than mine, though.
Yeah. I would ask like how that would combat anti-Semitism, but the real answer doesn't answer how it would combat anti-Semitism because I can't really call you up on it.
Right.
I was going to vote Tinder.
You're
Go out and make sweet love to all your Jewish neighbors, New Yorkers.
consensually, please.
Yeah, of course. Find hookups and they're
Bring
close by.
your bandoliers. Because they're multi-use, according to Luke.
You're no, I said don't.
I think at first you said that works. I'm just saying.
You're moving towards the right world because it's a tech thing. If anyone knows, does anyone have a guess? He is but he is stopping anti-Semitism with cryptocurrency.
Well, if there's one thing I know about Eric Adams, I know this definitely couldn't be an illegal scam.
It's
Go
definitely
on.
not a rug pull, guys.
Absolutely not.
By the way, it's a rug pull. He is, in the most Eric Adams story to ever Eric Adams, the former mayor, has launched a $NYC token. He insists the money raised will go to combating anti-Semitism as well as anti-Americanism, specifically the hostile, dangerous kind of anti-Americanism that looks down on former politicians scamming their supporters with a pyramid scheme. He has made hundreds of thousands of dollars off this already, and I think immediately rug pulled. He immediately sold it all or sold all his stock at the high point so that everyone was left holding the bag, and he's out and he's made money. But I'm sure he will diligently report on which anti-Semitism organizations he is donating this money to. We should all look forward to that update.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll definitely happen. Last question is complete the headline. I'm going to read a headline. It's missing some words. You guys fill it in. Filipina woman thought she was praying to Buddha, but was actually worshiping a small statue of...
Benedict Wong.
Ooh.
You know, from Doctor Strange and Weapons?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like him.
I had goatee-wearing evil Buddha. Did you not want to get those mixed up?
The Wario, too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just going to go in a different direction and say David Bowie.
Ooh, wow. I like it. I mean, I would pray to David Bowie. The actual answer, Filipina woman thought she was praying to Buddha, was actually worshiping a small statue of Shrek.
Oh.
That is pretty amazing.
Oh, no.
I love that in her belief system, Buddha is green.
Well, that's the thing. She prayed to it for years until a guest pointed out that the figurine, that she bought at a market had different facial features and was green. But she apparently the woman is thoroughly unembarrassed. She's basically come out and said, like, you know what? It's about the intent. It's not about getting the figure right. The Buddha teaches us it's not about it's not about the individual. And so, like, she's like, I don't care. It's fine.
Also, she's accidentally like a control for a religious experiment. Like, how did her life turn out?
The news story I read.
She lives in a swamp now.
Yeah. She's got it with a donkey. And
Talking donkey. Wow.
Yeah, she married a princess.
Aw.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can reveal that the winner of the approximately 10-minute long quiz, Clare Blackwood.
Yeah.
I think you got a pretty good streak going. Clare, you have won nothing save for the right of first plug, of course.
Amazing. Find me and subscribe to me on YouTube at It's Clare Blackwood. And you can support me financially on Patreon at Clare Blackwood Comedy, or just search the Very Unfunny Leftist.
Wonderful. Now?
I have a good news podcast called Total Annihilation. And I also have an award-winning Dungeons & Dragons podcast called Comedians and Dungeons Getting Dragons.
Hooray!
Excellent. Ian, anything you want to throw out?
A couple Beaverton headlines that really made me laugh this last week. ICE agent who killed Minneapolis woman to face jealousy of other ICE agents. By Mike McFadden. Yeah, kind of a bummer, but a good headline. And Elon Musk achieves dream of automating child sex abuse by Anonymous, because they didn't want a bunch of Elon Musk stans finding them online.
Fair. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you to everyone for listening. Subscribe to the newsletter, beaverton.com/newsletter. Get the best of our stuff delivered straight to your inbox every Sunday morning. And again, Edmonton, we're coming to do comedy in front of your faces live, not just over the airways. So check us out, winterruptionyeg.com, and just search for the Beaverton on their website.
4 tickets left.
4.5.
4.5
Yeah,
tickets.
we're debating whether it's 4 or 4.5. We're trying to sort it out with the organizers. But if you have any small children who want to come see the comedy show, the half ticket is available for them. All right. Talk to you guys next week. Later.
Bye.
The Beaverton Weekly Report is produced by Andrew Rivamy in partnership with the From Superheroes Network. Visit FromSuperheroes.com to hear more great podcasts like this.